All good. Morning everyone. Thanks very much for coming and battling through various transport issues, so really appreciate it. Welcome to futuretech this morning. This is our inaugural technology showcase in London, which we're all very excited about. So in terms of what we're going to run through, I'm just going to be very quick, just for an intro. We're then going to cover Office 365 and SharePoint with Tony Hughes. We've then got Brendan from TermSec here, which are our first sort of new innovative product, very new on the market. We've got Liam, who's going to cover Nintex, which keeps evolving as well. Ed Rees from Boardpacks is with us as well, is going to take us through that product. And then sort of circa, we're running about sort of 5 minutes over, so probably about 25 to 4 we're going to have a break. And then Paul Burns, our CTO, is going to take us through security, continuity and the threat landscape. And then we've got Peter from Sophos, and then James on data as well. And we've never, as a species, we've never really generated more data. There was an IDC survey, I think it was 2014, and they published a study saying at that point in 2014 we were doubling data globally every 18 months. And if you actually think about that, and that's all data globally, that is a huge compound effect. So there's more out there than there has been before. So yeah, just at the same time, it's our most valuable asset, but equally it's our greatest liability. And the successful businesses that we see, what they're doing is they're managing to harness that power and manage the risk at the same time. And today, TSG are going to show you how to strike that balance. In terms of future tech, I'm actually going to say that it's not future tech, it's actually now tech. Everything that you see here today that we present has been evaluated, it's been deployed, and it's ready today. So I'm going to hand over to Tony Hughes now. He's our Senior Office 365 and SharePoint Specialist.
Okay, I've spent since 2001 my whole life revolving around Microsoft SharePoint. Sad as I know, but the last sort of 6 months, actually, or maybe 12 months, I started to fall in love with Office 365 to the point where I changed my Twitter address from SharePoint Tony to Office 365 Tony. And I think now that we should look at sort of Office 365 as a platform, or even an intelligent operating system now, right? Because it has just got so much in it. And I think, you know, like it says there, it's just so much more than sort of email in the cloud and downloadable versions of PowerPoint and Excel, which is what historically I think a lot of IT companies have sort of, you know, advised their customers in effect when they go into Office 365. It certainly doesn't get the attention it deserves, and it's certainly getting added to all the time. So what I thought I'd start off with is with Microsoft Planner, because we actually use Microsoft Planner to plan this event. And it'll start to take us through a journey showing how all these applications touch each other and how they all work together. Think of Microsoft Planner as really being low-level project management and task management, okay? But in the Office 365 suite. So, as you would expect, all the different elements of Planner link with different elements of Office 365. So, tasks will integrate with Outlook, documents will integrate with SharePoint. Right? So this is what we basically did. We set up a plan for futuretech London. The terminology is not something I would have used, but we then created buckets, as is referred to by Microsoft, which are in effect work streams. So we said, right, we're going to have various, I'll try and use this laser, but I have got previous for actually injuring people in presentations. If I go like that, just be careful. Is that we created a bucket for the first set of presentations. We allocated the tasks to the different people, and we said, right, off you go and do that. And then we've got section 2. Okay. Up here we've got a notebook, so this is using OneNote, so we can make notes as we're going through, and that allows us to co-author as well. So 2 people can be typing away merrily in the same notebook. Okay. Right, and then in here we say, well, you know, what sort of plan do we want to do? Well, it's irrelevant really. If you can have a plan for a merger or an acquisition, or an office move, or I don't know, you know, building a new office suite, anything like that. It is just an entity, and then we can actually have an overall view of how are we doing on this particular plan or this project. So this is using Office Graph, and it's going away and showing the analytics. It's to say, right, you know, which tasks are not started. Obviously this is out of date, because if it was like this now, you'd be on your own. Right? And then we say, well, how do we manage our documents? in this plan? Well, surprise, surprise, it's going to use SharePoint in order to do that. So we get all of the standard SharePoint functionality. If anyone's wondering that's not SharePoint, this is the new SharePoint interface. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, SharePoint is now trendy again, right? Similar to myself. Like, Home Group is one of the largest housing associations in the UK. Right, they're northeast based, but they do have properties in London and in the southeast and in Scotland and all over. And basically they have transitioned from having 82 separate applications in the business. Right, so if somebody wanted a health and safety application, they went out and bought one. Somebody wanted an application to do document management, they went out and bought one. They've replaced that landscape with, in effect, two applications, Oracle E-Business and SharePoint. Right? If it can't be done in Oracle E-Business, we do it in SharePoint. So what that means is that we've built them a health and safety or incident management system inside SharePoint. Right? So it's forms and workflow driven. And we'll see a lot more about workflow later on in the presentations. The landscape with Office 365 has changed. And just some examples, you know, we can use it for an incident log. Now, unfortunately, Liam, who's coming on a bit later, was hit by the jib of a JCB digger and knocked into a 6-foot deep trench. Right? He wasn't, because he's actually just there. But you know, these are the sort of applications we build. Right? So this is a health and safety management system. If there are, sorry to say it, fatalities, we would have a completely different workflow, like an oh my god workflow type of thing. Delve is basically your personal dashboard. Right? The idea is over time it's using Office Graph and machine learning to understand about you and what documents you work on and what interests you and provide you that sort of information. Okay? And that could be emails, it could be from OneDrive, it could be from SharePoint, okay, it could be from Power BI, all sorts of places. Okay, so it's got full search capability as well, so within Delve you can start searching for things and it'll bring your documents up again using content search. Right. Does anyone use video within their organisations at the moment for training or knowledge sharing or anything like that? Yeah. Well, within Office 365 you get Office Video, right? And this is quite clever because you upload a video to it and it takes it to Azure, does some magic bits on it, and then brings you back multiple renditions of that dependent upon what device you access it from. So if I sit at home and access it from my iPad, it'll, or as I call it, the devil's child, being a Microsoft person, is that it'll give me the best rendition for the iPad. If I come from my mobile phone, it'll give me a lower resolution to my mobile phone. So in summary, what is Office 365? I strongly believe it's a toolkit, right? You can take elements of Office 365 and apply them into your business, right? Not necessarily all at once, over a period of time. And remember, you can change your Office 365 plans, so you can start at the bottom and move up and keep adding functionality if need be. Right? It's going to bring process improvement. Okay, we start to bind things together, start to pull them together, so we start to use forms, workflow, stuff like that. Right? It can work the way you work. Right? Because it doesn't force you down any particular route. And you can build things for the future. Now the next bit, I don't know why I put it in, but I did. And as the song says, now and forever. Because there is a song which has got a lyric, now and forever, or it's either now and always, I can't remember. But thank you very much for your attention, I appreciate it. I hope that's given you an insight as to what is really in Office 365 and not just email in the cloud and downloadable copies of Word. So thank you very much indeed.